Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of On the More Buses. In today's episode we take a look at the 70s and the 80s, with the first bus of the day being 1198 here at Rockley Park. From this bus we'll go all the way down to Allenchime where we'll change over to the 80s, but for now let's enjoy this one. Camera.
Go on, get a bus out.
Start off, Blakey.
When my daddy says,
As we leave now on part of the new extension for the 70, whereas before it only ran between Poole bus station and Bournemouth via the coastal route, this year's 70 takes a much different route, going from Rockley being extended to Rockley Park, Hamworthy Park, then to Poole bus station down through Lilliput, Compton Acres, Allenchime and to Bournemouth Town Centre. It now runs to Bournemouth Pier, Bournemouth Eastcliff, but Boscombe Pier, Southbourne Overcliff and Hengistbury Head where this service terminates, whereas the 80, we'll get a bit more into that when we're on that route, but usually with this bus we have a nice open top bus, but on the day of filming it was replaced with a Scania closed top, which is 1198. As you see here, we're coming up to Poole lifting bridge. Now if this bridge is being lifted when a bus is running over it, the buses will then be diverted over the Twin Sails Bridge to the left just there, but on this day we were lucky enough to go the normal route. But this is how we end up at Poole Quay, and there's a nice little surprise waiting for us at the quay, as you'll soon find out. So, sat on board 1196 in Poole bus station. So, as you've seen, a little time lapse coming from Rockley Park to Poole. Did make a quick stop along the way because we had a surprise visitor by a route master parked at the quay. So, very friendly driver, Mr. CJ, let me off and get a nice picture. What was we call him? Blakey. So this one's a bit unscripted, it's basically a bonus video. Russ, what are you doing? Say hi to the camera, Stan.
It's a new pepperoni.
You sure it's not a cigar?
Well, you never know.
It's one of our other very friendly bus drivers, who you may notice he is in quite a few of the shots on quite a few of the buses on the channel already. Coming into Allenchime now, you may have noticed we skipped a few of the locations that I mentioned in the last bit of voiceover. That's because in later episodes of On the More buses, other buses do serve these areas as well. This is also apparent for Bournemouth Town Centre and Bournemouth Pier, as they'll be addressed in a later episode just because of how many buses run here. But as you can see, 1198 is pulling into the stop, and this is where, oh god, what's going on? That's right, we're changing for the 80 now, as you can see here with 1812. We just let in on its first passengers and we'll be hopping on board now.
not valid.
So we're here at the very scenic Boscombe Pier, where a lot of the buses turn around and meet. This is one of the other major stops along the route on the 70s and 80s. Today we're currently on the 80s, and I better get going because my bus is about to leave. That's better. So Blakey, what would you say you're doing with this bus right now?
Starting it from the back because its ignition doesn't work properly. This is what we got told to do by engineering.
Makes a lovely sound once it's started though, doesn't it?
Oh, it sounds like heat. Scania, hallmark of quality.
These buses right here are the Optare Visionaires, released in 2009 to replace the Palantines on the routes 150 and the 140, now known as the 50 and the 40. There are currently 5 of these buses out on the line, with one of them being a spare, which is 1409. However, numbers 1404 to 1408 are the main buses of the 70s and 80s, being in the lovely yellow and blue. This one is number 1407, which has the nickname of the unit thanks to its number plate being DMU, like the 117 at Swanage. We're here at Holborn Park, which is the end of the 80 route, but we're going to go into some of the other buses as well. There's another bus that mainly does the 70s as a spare, which is 1822, which is a Volvo Millennium. And the other 2 buses on the fleet, well, you're about to see them, which are these length body Vikings, being only 2 left, but originally given to yellow buses in 2002. This one 1812 was originally number 431 and it had a rather fetching centenary livery, which I'll put in the video, and the other one, 1813, was originally numbered 432. Fun little fact about these are also on the basis for the Beach Breezer planters. Here we are at Hengistbury Head. You can see we've got a bus behind me. This is where the 70 terminates, but the 80 continues on to Holborn Park, where that service terminates. Here you can find lovely views out onto the channel towards the Solent and Isle of Wight on the historic head, which is currently behind there. And up there you will be able to get lovely views of the sunset as well if you come in the evenings. I recommend winter sunsets, but the service here with the 70s and 80s is very reliable, every half an hour. I'm currently here on the last one because some of this has been filmed out of sequence. So the last one off the head is around 7:45 in the evening, and the reason this is, so the bus before mine terminates here and dumps, but they've done it so if anyone's at the head, you won't get left behind, which is a very good way of doing it. Back when yellow buses operated the service, you didn't have that. They just dumped at the head and you'd have to find your own way home. So it's nice that more buses have actually given you a chance to come home on a fairly decent bus. As you can see behind our one, we've got the 99. This is another connection that you can get from Boscombe down to Boscombe Pier. Here we have 1407, which is part of our main fleet. But look at this lovely view you can get down here at Boscombe Pier. And if you fancy it, you can even walk all the way down to Bournemouth that way, or up to Hengistbury Head that way.
Blakey?
Have a good one.
You too. We're now at Bournemouth Station where our bus finally terminates. You can see Butler running off there. Where our bus is now leaving. Blakey's going back to depot. And this is where I'm going to end this video. If you do enjoy, come down and ride the Beach Breezes. They're running every day, Monday to Sunday. You can ride all of them for £4.80 on a Zone 8 ticket. Oh, here goes Blakey. We'll watch him off. But yeah, you can ride them all for £4.80 on a Zone 8 ticket. If you do want to go to Swanage, however, you'll need a Zone ABC ticket. He done laugh about tooting his horn, done he? I've been Aaron, is Jack. Is Clippy. Butler's been along for the ride. And we'll see you all in the next episode of On the Moor Buses.